Once upon a time, in a small American town, a group of teenagers decided to have a sleepover at an old, secluded cabin in the woods. They were drawn to the thrill of the unknown and the excitement of spending a night away from the safety of their homes. Little did they know, their American sleepover would turn into a terrifying nightmare. As the night fell and darkness enveloped the cabin, strange occurrences began to unfold. Whispers echoed through the halls, and eerie footsteps could be heard on the creaking wooden floors. The friends tried to brush off the unease, believing it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. But as the hours ticked by, the atmosphere grew increasingly unsettling. Shadows danced on the walls, and a bone-chilling coldness seeped into the air. The group's laughter turned into nervous glances, and their playful banter transformed into anxious silence. One by one, the friends started experiencing inexplicable phenomena. Doors would slam shut on their own, and objects would move as if guided by an unseen force. The temperature continued to drop, causing their breath to form ghostly mists in the air. They gathered in the living room, seeking solace in each other's presence. Their unease turned to fear when they realized they were not alone. Whispers grew louder, and the group felt an otherworldly presence watching their every move. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped in a house with a malevolent entity. Desperate to escape, they tried to find a way out, but the cabin seemed to shift and change, confusing them at every turn. The walls seemed to breathe, and the rooms became labyrinthine, leading them deeper into the heart of their worst nightmares. As the night wore on, the friends began to question their sanity. They were tormented by vivid hallucinations and terrifying visions. Each time they closed their eyes, they were confronted with horrifying images that felt all too real. Frantic and terrified, they stumbled upon an old journal hidden in the cabin. Its pages revealed a dark history of the place, recounting stories of unspeakable horrors and tragic events that had occurred within those very walls. The cabin was cursed, and their presence had awakened the malevolent spirits that resided there. With newfound determination, the friends searched for a way to break the curse and escape the clutches of the cabin. They performed a ritual described in the journal, hoping to appease the vengeful spirits and find their freedom. As they completed the ritual, the cabin shook violently, and an eerie silence fell upon the group. Slowly, the walls stopped breathing, and the haunting whispers faded away. The curse had been broken, and the friends found themselves standing outside the cabin, surrounded by the first rays of dawn. Exhausted but relieved, they vowed never to speak of that fateful American sleepover again. The horrors they had faced would forever be etched in their memories, a reminder of the dangers that lurk in the darkness. From that day forward, they valued the comfort of their own beds and the safety of their homes, knowing that some places are best left untouched. Upon a time, a group of close friends, a clique of girls, decided to have a sleepover at one of their houses. They were excited about spending the night together, sharing secrets, and enjoying each other's company. Little did they know, their innocent sleepover would soon turn into a night of unimaginable horror. As the girls settled in for the evening, giggling and sharing stories, they began to notice strange occurrences. The lights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows on the walls. They brushed it off as a minor electrical issue, trying to ignore the growing sense of unease. As the night grew darker, the atmosphere in the house changed. They started hearing faint whispers, as if someone was speaking from another room. The girls exchanged nervous glances, but convinced themselves that it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. But as the hours passed, the whispers grew louder and more distinct. They could hear their names being called, and chilling laughter filled the air. Fear gripped their hearts as they realized that something supernatural was happening around them. One by one, the girls started experiencing terrifying encounters. They saw shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their vision, disappearing as they turned to look. Objects moved on their own, as if guided by an unseen force, and cold gusts of wind swept through the room, causing their skin to prickle with unease. They huddled together in the living room, seeking comfort and safety in each other's presence. But even the tight bond of friendship couldn't shield them from the horrors that awaited. The house seemed to have a malevolent energy, feeding off their fear and growing stronger with each passing moment. Desperate to escape the nightmare, they tried to leave the house, only to find the doors locked and the windows sealed shut. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped within the clutches of a dark presence. In their search for answers, they stumbled upon an old diary hidden in the attic. Its pages revealed the tragic history of the house, recounting tales of a vengeful spirit seeking revenge for past wrongs. The girls had unknowingly awakened the entity, and now they were its unwilling victims. With trembling hands, they decided to confront the spirit head-on. They gathered in a circle, clutching hands, and recited a ritual they discovered in the diary. As they chanted, the air grew heavy, and an intense energy filled the room. The spirit made its presence known, manifesting as a chilling presence in their midst. But instead of attacking them, the spirit revealed its tragic story, pleading for forgiveness and understanding. The girls, filled with empathy, listened and offered their compassion. In that moment of connection, the spirit found peace and slowly dissipated, leaving the girls in a state of awe and relief. As dawn broke, the girls emerged from the house, forever changed by the experience. Though they would always carry the memory of that fateful sleepover, they also learned the power of friendship, empathy, and the strength to face their fears. From that day forward, they cherished their bond even more, knowing that together they could overcome any horror that came their way. Once upon a time, on a dark and stormy night, a group of friends decided to have a sleepover at an old, abandoned house that was rumored to be haunted. Excited by the prospect of a thrilling adventure, they gathered their sleeping bags, flashlights, and snacks, ready to test their bravery. As they entered the creaking house, a chilling breeze greeted them. The air was heavy with an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of their footsteps. Despite their initial excitement, a sense of unease began to creep over the group. Shadows danced ominously on the walls, and strange whispers seemed to echo from the corners of the rooms. As the night grew darker, peculiar events unfolded. Furniture moved on its own accord, doors slammed shut inexplicably, and ghostly figures appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The friends tried to convince themselves it was all just their imagination, but fear began to grip their hearts. One by one, they started experiencing terrifying encounters. One friend claimed to have seen a spectral figure floating down the hallway, while another heard blood-curdling screams coming from the attic. The atmosphere became suffocating, and their nerves were on edge. As the clock struck midnight, the true horror of the house revealed itself. A malevolent presence, trapped within the walls, unleashed its wrath upon the unsuspecting group. Terrifying apparitions materialized, reaching out with ghostly hands, and an otherworldly voice whispered their names in the darkness. In a desperate attempt to escape the clutches of the haunted house, the friends ran towards the front door, only to find it mysteriously locked. Panic consumed them as they realized they were trapped. Frantically, they searched for an exit, but each door they opened led to another nightmare. As the night wore on, their fear intensified, and their sanity teetered on the edge. They huddled together, seeking comfort and protection from the unknown. The house seemed to feed off their terror, growing stronger with every scream and cry for help. Finally, as dawn approached and the first rays of sunlight pierced through the windows, the haunting ceased. The house fell silent once more. Shaken and traumatized, the friends stumbled out of the house, vowing never to return. To this day, they shudder at the memory of that fateful sleepover, forever haunted by the true horror they experienced in that old, abandoned house. It serves as a chilling reminder that some terrors are all too real, lurking in the darkest corners of our imagination, waiting to be unleashed upon the unsuspecting.